If you are currently not waking up every single day and actively aspiring to be the most positive, brightest version of yourself, then you're going to lose in life in the long run. And I don't want you to lose in life in the long run. I want you to go out there to build your biggest, boldest, most audacious life ever because you are capable of that and so much more. But if you can't learn how to master this, if you can't learn how to overcome the negativity, the self-doubt, and show up for yourself anyways, and cultivate that positive, beautiful mindset, then life will crush you, challenges will crush you, and you'll forever stay stuck, and you'll be like 80 years old, look back at your life and be like, what the F was that? And I wanted to do this, this, and this, and I wasn't able to do any of that. So let's not have that be you. Let's have you be the 90-year-old version who looks back and goes like, wow, that was an amazing ride. I took all the risks, I did all the things, and I lived my biggest, boldest, baddest life, because that is what we're about here on this channel. Little disclaimer before we dive in, this is not a toxic positivity video, okay? I know that the title literally makes it seem like it's a toxic positivity video, but I promise you it is not that. And the first step that we dive into is going to show you that. And with that being said, let's dive into it. So how do you actually cultivate this mindset where you are constantly able to easily look at the bright side of things? Step number one to doing that is to give yourself permission to feel the feels. And I know that might sound a little bit counterintuitive, right? Like, if I let myself feel sad or anger, how am I going to be positive? Like, we shouldn't be feeling those emotions, but no, you need to. I have worked with hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of patients and helped people optimize their brain health. And I constantly see that those of us who struggle to actually feel our emotions and experience them, we also struggle the most to be positive. Because if you can't initially accept and respect your body's reactions to things, which happen automatically. And I know you don't want to be angry over that silly little text. I know you don't want to be sad over this silly little thing, but the truth is that you are, and that's okay. And the more that you hate yourself for that, the more that you push down and crush those feelings because of that, the more that you're actually going to delay your ability to get to that positive side. So I want you to unapologetically, no matter how freaking ridiculous it is, let yourself feel the anger, let yourself feel the sadness. Like, sometimes I will cry over the most ridiculous things, and I'm just like, I don't want to cry over this or be sad over this, but I'm like, I know I need to let myself feel the feels, because then I can't jump to that next step of actually being positive and looking at the bright side of things. So please feel your feelings. And I know so many of us have so many dysfunctional patterns when it comes to giving ourselves permission to feel feelings. I've worked with a lot of men in my practice too. I know in general, if you are a man, there's tons of biases and stigma and shame that comes to actually experiencing your emotions. And I think, honestly, I feel for men out there. I feel for all of you. If you're a man watching this, I truly feel for you, and my heart goes out to you so much, because you've probably been raised in a society and culture that has told you that you are not allowed to experience sadness. And I truly think that sucks. It sucks. And if you can't give yourself permission to feel these emotions, it's going to make it very difficult for you to experience positivity. So I would really encourage you, like, find a healthy way to give yourself permission to feel these emotions. And now this doesn't mean you got to go crying to your like wife or your girlfriend or whatever, right? But maybe you do it on your own, or maybe you get a therapist, and if you don't want to tell anybody, don't tell anybody about it. All cool, but get someone that you can actually talk to, get someone that's going to help you really properly and appropriately process your emotions in a healthy way. And you don't got to scream this out from the rooftops. You can do this silently on your own if it feels like a lot to be able to tell the people around you, because the more that you let yourself feel and experience, the more that you're in tune with yourself, the easier it's going to be for you to think positively. A lot of you, what you're doing right now is you're trying to think positively, but there's so much shit within you that is so unprocessed that you haven't touched or thought about. And all of that shit is still sitting there, literally. It's still sitting there, and you haven't worked through any of it. And that's why your mind feels like a constant everyday internal battle, because every single day you are trying to be positive, but your brain and your body are just like, buddy, we got so much shit in here that we haven't processed, and we can't until we have let go. So that's the importance of feeling your feels. And I promise you, when you start to get good at this, man, being positive, it's so easy once you just let yourself like feel the emotions and like work through it. Now I'm just like, I'll cry, I'll be angry, I'll punch this like little teddy bear that I have on my, bed, because you gotta let the anger out some way. And we know that punching others is not okay. So, sometimes I'll punch or scream in a pillow. And then I'll feel 100 times better. I'll also journal. Journaling is a fantastic way to process your emotions. Like, I go through journals like so fast because of how much I journal. So that's always a really great, healthy way to start. So maybe if you're like, I don't have money for a therapist or whatever, pull out your freaking journal and just write about your feelings. Okay, take out the time to do this. Because when you actually give yourself permission to feel, process, move through, you get to positivity and the bright side so much faster. So literally, even after this video, go do a 10-minute journaling session. It will literally change your life. And then come back and comment and let me know and thank me later. Okay? Now, the next step to being someone who's always looking at the positive and bright side of things is that you need to understand that this has to be an active, everyday choice. And you need to make the choice starting today that this is just the type of person that you are. So really just let what I said sink in there. You have to make the active choice and decision that this is just who you are now. And that means waking up every single day and choosing to show up as this version of yourself. A lot of us think that we're just supposed to be this like positive person. It's going to come naturally. It's never going to be natural for you. To this very day, even though I have incredible brain health, I have to consistently work on being positive, like every single day. And the same goes for you. And this is because your brain is wired for negativity. I talk about this all the time. Your brain's wired for negativity. Your brain wants you to be safe and comfortable, and it can't be safe and comfortable if you're thinking positively. Your brain helps you be safe and comfortable by thinking negatively, so you can think about all the problems, so you can think about all these things. And so in order for you to actually be someone who's positive, to be someone who thinks on the bright side, is you have to make this active choice as much as possible all throughout the day to be this person. So it's literally about like asking yourself, okay, what would someone who is positive and who always thinks on the bright side, like what would they be thinking about this situation right now? How would they be showing up right now? And sometimes I have to ask myself that too. Okay, if I was the most positive, brightest version of myself, what would this Basleen do in this situation? And tying yourself and attaching yourself to that identity. And so you really have to make this commitment. And I hope that this video is that video for you that helps you just see like it's time to make that commitment now, right? Like put your even hand on your heart and be like, I officially commit to myself. And so really make that official commitment to yourself that you are going to decide to be the most positive, brightest version of yourself. And it's just like, why not? You're going to do the stuff anyway. So you're going to wake up, sit in traffic, go to work, go see your friends, hang out with them. You're going to do all these things anyways. Why not do it as the most positive, brightest version of yourself? Why you got to do it as being like the ugliest version of yourself, the one that's always complaining, always being negative, always looking at like the bad side of things? Why do you have to do it being that version of yourself? You don't. That's a choice you're making. You're making a choice in that moment to show up as that version of yourself. You can also make the opposite choice. You can also make the choice to show up as the absolute best freaking version of yourself. And I hope that you do that and let this video be the catalyst where you make that commitment, right? Like hand on your heart. I officially commit from today onwards to actively and consciously make the decision to show up as the positive and most brightest version of myself. Now, what does all of this actually look like done on a day-to-day basis? So once you've felt the feels, once you have made that active commitment to make this be this everyday thing that you do, and just going back off on that really quickly, like please watch your mindset around that. In my practice, I'm constantly catching my patients and telling them, stop saying that it's hard. Stop saying it's easier said than done. Stop putting yourself in these boxes. So don't do that. Catch yourself, okay? Next thing that you want to do is you need to actively, in the moments where you experience negative thoughts, where you experience stress, where you experience fear, anxiety, you need to be doing something differently in that moment. You need to be challenging your thoughts. Too many of us, we notice our self-doubt, anxiety, fear come up, and we just let ourselves sit in it and rot in it all day long. And those days turn into weeks, and those weeks turn into months, and then, now we're just upset and disappointed because we don't have the life that we want. But it started with us giving our negative thoughts permission to rot in our minds. So stop doing that. Your negative thoughts no longer have permission to rot in your mind. Okay? This means that you need to actively challenge them. 2 simple ways to help you do that. Number 1, when you notice any thoughts of fear or self-doubt or anxiety showing up, asking yourself, what is the evidence that proves this thought to be true? Your brain loves to make up stories in your mind, but none of those stories are actually true because your brain thinks that if I, make up these stories and fears about the future, then, you won't go out of your comfort zone. You won't do these things and take action, and you'll just stay the same and you'll stay safe. So your brain loves to come up with this stuff. So you actually need to look at the hardcore evidence. And, little side note, you might think you have evidence, but you actually don't. Because I do this in my practice all day, every day, okay? Where I challenge my patients' thoughts and I ask them, okay, like, what's the actual evidence? And we have to sit in it because they're just like, actually, there isn't any. I'm just like, yep, 100%. There usually is never any evidence. Unless, for example, like, maybe you're like, I feel like no one at my work likes me. And okay, what's the evidence? Has anybody ever come up and told you, like, you're shit, Karen, we don't like you, or I hate you, Jessica, or Mark, you're stupid? Like, has anybody ever said that to you? No, right? They probably haven't said that to you. So if they haven't said that to you, then you actually have no evidence. It's just a feeling. Things that you feel to be true are never actually true. So I want you to keep that in mind. Look for actual hardcore evidence that you would bring to like a judge in front of a court, and only that constitutes as real evidence. Feelings are not evidence. Feelings aren't facts at all. Okay. And then the second, really great question to help you challenge these negative thoughts is simply asking yourself, how is this situation different if I look at it positively? Literally. Or what's the good that can come out of this? I am such a big believer, and I've just like wired my mind to just believe that if something doesn't work out for me, that's because something even better for me is out there. That's it. So I literally, I feel like I never have anything to stress about, actually. Doesn't mean I don't stress. Obviously, I still do stress because I'm human. But when I just think about it, I'm just like, okay, if this job opportunity didn't work out, that's okay because I have an even better job opportunity waiting for me. If this relationship didn't work out, that's okay. I have an even better relationship waiting for me. This friendship didn't work out and this friend left out of my life, that's cool because I have 10 other friends who are just waiting to enter my life. If this patient left, that's okay. I'm going to wish them well, and 10 new patients are going to come in. And when you just embody that mindset, you don't feel the need to be attached to anything. Because if something desires to leave your life, if something doesn't work out, it's like, it's okay because God's got me. God's always got me. And I would encourage you, this is a little side note, if you are really serious about cultivating this positive mindset, go develop your relationship with God. Or if you want to call it the universe, but I'm going to call it God because that's what I call the universe, I guess. Go develop your relationship with God. When you actually truly live in faith, you have no worries, you have no stress. All you know is you got to show up, you got to help people, do good in the world, and God's just going to take care of the rest. So go develop your relationship with God, go develop your relationship with faith, and just watch how everything just transforms so much more and so much better in your life. It's truly been one of the best relationships I've cultivated, thank you God, in my life, next to the relationship I have and cultivated with myself as well, okay? But I see those two as kind of one and the same. So really actively look at challenging your negative thoughts, because if you're not waking up and challenging your negative thoughts, whenever they come up, you're just letting yourself rot and sit in the negativity, and that's going to spill out to all areas of your life. So that's how you will really help to rewire your mindset. And the more that you do it, the easier it gets. So initially, it might feel uncomfortable. Initially, it might feel like your mind not believe you, but that's okay. Keep doing it. And what you'll find over time is that it gets easier and easier to just notice those thoughts come and be like, no, I'm not entertaining that. That's the point that I'm at where I'm just like, okay, no. But before, when I was overcoming my depression, I had to work so hard at overcoming my negative thoughts. So keep at it, and over time, you'll just get better and better and better and better. And then the last step to add to this is that you need to make sure that you are showing up in alignment with the positive, brightest version of yourself. Affirmations and positive thinking don't work on their own. If you didn't know that, I hope you know that now. It took me a very long time to realize that affirmations like that don't work. And I used to freaking hate it when I was chronically depressed and people were just think positively, do this, do that. And I'm just like, no, Like when you're actually significantly struggling with your mental health, thinking positively doesn't work. Okay. So, what you really need to start doing is you need to start making sure that your action steps align with that positive, brightest version of yourself. So, you're challenging those negative thoughts. That's fantastic. That's part one. Part number two is you need to show up as this version of yourself because your action steps create your reality. It's not just your thoughts, it's your thoughts aligned with your actions that create your reality. So get that right. If you're just doing one part of this, it's not going to work. You need to do both the thought and the actions, the thoughts and the behaviors together in order to get the best results. So say you've challenged your thoughts, right? So maybe you were applying for jobs and you got to like the third round of the interview process and you were so close to getting it, but you didn't end up getting it. And now all of a sudden you have these thoughts where you feel like you're a failure, you're not good enough. And so in this moment, it's about challenging those thoughts. And then you need to ask yourself, okay, what would the most positive, brightest version of myself do? That version of me would still show up. That version of me would continue to apply to more jobs. That version of me would go to networking events and look at better opportunities, right? And that version of me might actually get excited because this opportunity didn't work out because an even better opportunity is waiting for me. Like, look at that switch. Even me just talking about this, even though I haven't even been in this situation, because technically, I've never actually had a job as an adult. I've had like part-time jobs when I was in school, but because I started my business off. But I can relate to it in terms of definitely starting and trying things in my business and failing. And I'm like, that's okay because something even better was meant for me. And so when it really comes to this, you have to make sure those behaviors are aligned with that version of you. And sometimes it requires you to sit down and creatively think about what would the most positive version of you look like. Sometimes if you're not used to being positive at all, you might even need to ask other people, right? Or honestly, go on ChatGPT and ask, like, what would the most positive version of me do? We have ChatGPT. Use it for some of these things like this if you can't brainstorm, because sometimes we're just so stuck in that negativity, and I can relate to that. Again, when I was going through my depression, I can so relate to being in this place where all you can feel is darkness and pain, and you literally are not able to see anything positive that you can do. It's okay, been there. Literally go to ChatGPT and get some brainstorm. Ask some of your friends and get some help to just brainstorm what those things are. But there is always something that you can do that's aligned with positivity that's actually going to make you feel good in the moment. So never forget that. And so if you could do these things, like, and they're simple. Wasn't this video really simple? I hope it was, because it's, that's what I really aim to do with my channel as well, is I just want to show you that like great brain health doesn't have to be hard and complicated. I feel like we just have it so overcomplicated. The last video I literally did was like simple or basic brain boosting. What's it called? It's up here right now. 6 basic brain boosting tips. And it's just like, get back to the basics, you guys. It's not that hard. If you literally commit to 2 to 3 things that you're just going to commit to every single day, you will not recognize yourself. Give yourself even like 30 days. So get back to the basics. It's literally as simple as this. And I really just hope that after this video, you take some action steps. Like, take action. Come back in a couple of days, reply back to this video and let me know how it went for you, because it truly can be as simple as this. And if you're looking for personalized support, for the month of May, I'm running a promo where I'm doing a 2-for-1 coaching call. So this is where if you opt into one 60-minute coaching call, you get a second one completely free. So if you're looking for that support with both the mind and the body and you want to do that reset together, definitely check it on link below. I think I have about like 15 spots left. And so don't miss out on this opportunity. I've never done a promo like this before, and I'm not sure if I'm going to run it again, or maybe I'll run it again, but it won't be till another year until it is Mental Health Month. So there you have it for today. You got this, and I'm rooting for you.